of yesteryear. Now, I want to speak about very famous Ethiopian rabbi today. On Yom Kippur itself, it was his Hilula, Yud Tishrei. His name was Rabbi Kasta Menashe Zaaodoo. Very, very great rabbi of his time, to give him his full title. He was a great rabbi. He English year 1916, I think an area called Valkite, if I'm not mistaken, that naturally was in Ethiopia, and he passed on the 16th of September in the year 20 years of age. At the time he passed, he was born in an area called Valkite, I believe that's more northern part of the Gondar area of, let's say, Ethiopia. I think in northern western part of Ethiopia, and he was born in the year 1916 to Manasseh Dasta. And year 1916 to Manasseh Dasta and Mark Makri. Now, when he would reach an age where he was becoming slightly older at that point in time, starts in line, along with his grandfather, and I think also a spiritual leader, who he was also known as the Batra, the Sata, respectively. Now, his grandfather, I think, had prominent positions in Ethiopia. He would train him to take his place and to eventually lead the community and to become a kes. A kes is a spiritual leader. Now, when he reached, I think he was about 15 years of age already, he was already shown his prominence and his brilliance, and he was looking to get the mantelpiece of Torah, his brilliance, and he was looking to get the mantelpiece of Torah leadership in of itself, which his grandfather had really imbued. Shana, Sefer Torah scrolls, which was 100 years of age, and that would be, I think, given through his grandfather in of itself, and he would really imbue him in Torah, because the potential at that point in time was absolutely amazing, and he would get this, and he would receive, let's say, authority to lead his community. Now, Kes, at the age of 18, he would went to the region of Ethiopia over there, I think, where the various different great spiritual Jewish leaders would actually live at that point in time. He would go through a whole learning process in of itself, like for leadership with regards to everything they needed from a spiritual point of view. I think for more than appointed, I think, as a spiritual leader of the Ethiopian community at that point in time, which was a very prominent position, especially, and you can see how important it is. He would receive training, and then eventually he would actually return to Valkit, as we stated about on the outset, and he would get married to his wife, I think, with Abrash Al-Miyahu, I believe her name was, Menashe, and I think it's reported over they would have 10 children. It was reported over, and he would start to lead the Jewish community of Ethiopia in the Valkit area in of itself for many years, and obviously bring about a lot of responsibility, but at the same time, it was a religious, let's say, leader and the spiritual leader at that point in time, and he would be of the Walkite Zada area for many years. Now, I think it was the year 1981, which is very interesting. I think there was a wave of aliyah coming from that point in time. I think 1980s, people will start moving from Ethiopia and eventually arriving in the land of Israel. So he would go through Sudan on a big journey, I think, from Ethiopia with his family, it would be. And I think they would have to, it wasn't a smooth journey like maybe some people have smooth journeys nowadays. It was a tough journey in itself. He would hide his 100-year-old scrolls, which he had received from his grandfather over there. And I think they would be as long as a year nearly in Sudan. And eventually, I think, come the year 1982, they would finally arrive in the land of Israel. He would live first, I think, together with the community at that stage in time, and a very, let's say, I think the Hof Carmel Regional Council area towards the Haifa district, I think an area called Atlit. His family there was like an absorption center, let's just say, and there were other spiritual leaders there at that point in time. He would then move to Beersheba for permanent, let's just say, residence in of itself, and he would really be imbued in Torah, let's just say, and really would be constantly praying, especially sometimes it would have to be independently inside his house, but there was, it was obviously a transitional move at that stage in time to come to Eretz Israel, obviously a big privilege at the same time. And it's interesting, I think, I'll state what it actually says over here in Hebrew within regards to him, using just some of the notes from Wikipedia. So it actually relates over within regards to his time. He would okay. עם כס אברהם זתתה להקים בית כנסת לקהילת יהודי אתיופיה בעיר וזכה להגישים את חלומו לבניית בית כנסת. אולם התכנסות וכיתות לימוד שהיה ראשון מסוגו לבני קהילה שהפך למודל עבור ערים אחורה. So I think there'll be synagogues for the Ethiopian community that will eventually be, let's just say, opened up at that stage in time when he came there. I don't know if he himself was one of the people that built in of itself, but I think there was a dream of his, and it was a synagogue for the Ethiopian Jewish community that was built. I think they would have classrooms, there'll be a community center if I'm not mistaken, and a proper infrastructure would actually be made for the Ethiopian community over that at that stage in time. So there was a progress, and there was, I think, other Ethiopian rabbis that were responsible also for imbuing this progress for the Ethiopian community as building a structure as they moved in. He was very, very respected by the members of his community, not just in his city, but also beyond. And he would receive a certification of appreciation for, his time, all the different works he did from Israeli politician named Yaakov Turner, who I think was the 7th mayor of Be'er Sheva, if I'm not mistaken, between the years 1998 to 2008, and 10th Commissioner General of the Israeli police. He had been at one stage in time between 1990 to 1993. Now, I think he passed away, he was 105 years of age, and he passed away on Yom Kippur. So he was a very, very great rabbi of his time. I think there's different ages, which will actually state conflicting reports when he passed away, if I'm not mistaken. There's another place I heard which said that he passed away at the age of 9 from great spiritual leaders of the Ethiopian Jewish community. And we've spoken already about maybe 7 or 8 Ethiopian rabbis of yesteryear. So he is just another rabbi website that gives a very, very good roles within regards to the various different nobleship, let's just say, that this famous rabbi had in of itself, within regards to describing the way of his prayer, the way his intention was in itself, the clothing which he wore, the majesticness that he perceived in of itself, and the spirituality that he had. But seemingly, I think he passed away, he would live between 1916 to 2021, according to many different sources. And that means he would have been 105 years of age, according to most opinions, within regards to that. But he was a great rabbi of his time. He's a rabbi, I believe we mentioned about him before when we spoke about famous Ethiopian rabbis of yesteryear, which is very, very interesting. He was one of the heads of the Better Israel community. And he was also known Kes Kohen Dat, ומנהיג רוחני של ביתא ישראל, respectively, had 10 children, and I believe he passed away in Israel also. So he was a great rabbi of his time, and I recommend everyone to learn more. Hopefully, at one stage in time, we will record, Be'ezrat Hashem, we really hope, a video with regards to the history of the Ethiopian Jewish community. That's definitely an intention at one stage in time, and I hope we'll be able to make this happen. And much more is chronicled within regards to the great Ethiopian rabbi of yesteryear. So that's very, very interesting. Now, it's actually interesting. Like there was a caliber of rabbis, great rabbis like Rabbi Uri ben Baruch, for example, who was a very, very great Ethiopian rabbi. He lived at around that window of time. Also, there was another great rabbi we have to point out, Rabbi Kasta Menashe Zmara, who lived between 1906 to 1998, happens to be his Hilula also this week at the time of recording. So there was great brilliance, there was great leadership at that point in time, and I recommend everyone to learn much more. Hopefully at any stage soon we are going to get, hopefully Be'ezrat Hashem, our hostages back also, so we pray for their immediate return, a safe return, Be'ezrat Hashem, and just goodness coming here from Eretz Israel. So just wishing you all well, and Chag Sameach, Moadim L'Simcha, and thank you for watching. Have a great day.